Quizzy Wizzy, a channel for curious kids and adults.
Subscribe!
Which transport runs on rails? Car, train, airplane, bicycle. Car drives on roads. If it could only run on rails, we wouldn't get very far. Unfortunately, there are no rails in the sky or on city streets. Train runs on rails. A train moves strictly along the tracks and can carry many passengers or cargo. Airplane flies in the sky. An airplane soars high above cities, rivers, and forests. Bicycle pedals forward. A bicycle rides on roads and paths using human power. Correct answer: train, railway transport on rails. Imagine if it could whistle like a cartoon train, toot toot. A train is a type of transport that moves along railway tracks. It can be a passenger train, carrying people over short or long distances, or a freight train, delivering goods and parcels. Trains come in many forms: regular commuter trains, high-speed trains, and even small park trains for kids. They are convenient and fast, don't get stuck in traffic, and can carry many passengers at once. Passengers can read, sleep, or look out the window while the train races along the tracks. What lifts cargo to high floors? Elevator, crane, tram, bus. Elevator lifts people. If it carried elephants, the cabin would be very crowded. But usually, the elevator helps me go to the top floors quickly without getting tired or climbing stairs. Crane lifts cargo. A crane lifts heavy materials and helps builders. Tram moves on rails. The tram carries people around the city, but it won't lift cargo to floors. Bus drives on roads. If a bus tried to lift cargo, passengers would be scared, and the driver would need superhero powers. Correct answer: elevator. Imagine if the elevator could talk, holding you tight. Up we go. I love using the elevator because it saves my energy and time. I get to the top floors in seconds without sweating on the stairs. Interestingly, the fastest elevators in the world can move at more than 20 meters per second. Imagine me as a superhero instantly appearing on the top floor of a skyscraper. It's also funny to think the elevator could joke, "Hold on, I won't drop you." Sometimes I imagine it winking with the "open door" button. And a fun fact, elevators come in different types: passenger, freight, and panoramic. Panoramic elevators are especially cool. Which transport flies in the air? Car, airplane, train, ship. Car drives on roads. If it suddenly flew, neighbors would think a sky race has started. Airplane flies high. It rushes through clouds and sometimes roars like a real military plane. Train moves on rails. If a train took off, passengers would hold on to the handrails and scream. Ship floats on water. If a ship tried to fly, the seagulls would go on strike. Correct answer: airplane. Imagine if the airplane could joke, "Hold on, clouds won't stop us." I love flying on an airplane because it feels like magic. Houses become tiny, cars look like toys, and people are like ants. Modern passenger planes can reach speeds of almost 1,000 kilometers per hour. Imagine racing the wind and clouds at the same time. It's also funny to imagine the airplane joking when passing through a cloud. Oops, cloud traffic jam, sneaking through behind. I imagine the pilot winking at passengers. Get ready for an air race. Fun fact, military airplanes perform maneuvers that look like they are dancing in the sky. Sometimes I dream of being a pilot and teaching my airplane to dance among the clouds. What do you use for short trips in the city? Bicycle, ship, tank, submarine. Bicycle, pedals forward. Perfect for short trips through streets and parks, and it helps stay fit. Ship, floats on water. Riding a ship through the city is tricky, bridges get in the way. Tank, moves on land. Too big for small streets, neighbors would definitely be scared. Submarine, floats underwater. Not needed in the city, better for ocean adventures. Correct answer, bicycle. Imagine if the bicycle could talk, pedals turning, wind in your face, let's go. I love riding a bicycle because it's fast, fun, and I can choose any street or park. Interesting fact, bicycles come in many types, city, mountain, sport, and even electric. Each is cool in its own way. It's also funny to imagine the bicycle joking, come on, faster, I'll take you to the edge of the city. Imagine the wheels laughing with you. Fun fact, the speed record on a bicycle is over 250 kilometers per hour. Of course, I don't ride that fast, but it's fun to dream. Which transport carries many people at once? Airplane, bus, motorcycle, scooter. Airplane, flies high. It can carry many people, but boarding is harder than on a bus. Bus, carries passengers. Fits many people and drives through the city, taking everyone to school or work. Motorcycle, rides fast. Can carry only one passenger, not suitable for a crowd. Scooter, rides on wheels. A scooter is good for one person, but it cannot carry passengers. Correct answer, bus. Imagine if the bus could joke, everyone in. There's room for all. I love riding a bus because it gets me quickly to school, stores, or the park, and I can just sit and watch the city go by. Interesting fact, the longest buses can carry up to 200 people. Imagine a moving house on wheels. It's also funny to think the bus could talk to passengers. Don't worry, I'll get you all there, even if I have to zigzag around a traffic jam. Fun fact, some cities have double-decker buses, and the view from the top floor is magical. Sometimes I imagine the bus as a real superhero delivering people every day. Which transport floats on water? Airplane, ship, car, train. Airplane, flies in the air. It cannot float, even if it really wants to. Ship, floats on water. It carries people and cargo, gliding across seas and rivers. Car, drives on roads. It will sink in water, so roads are better for cars. Train, moves on rails. Trains cannot float, and if you try, the adventure ends quickly. Correct answer, ship. Imagine if the ship could joke, Don't worry, I'm steering straight to fun. I love riding on a ship because you can travel on rivers, lakes, and seas while enjoying the view of water and city embankments. Interesting fact, ships come in many types: passenger, cargo, sailing, and even cruise liners. Each is impressive in its own way. It's also funny to imagine the ship talking to passengers, "Fasten your seatbelts, or I'll take you on water swings." The largest cruise liners can carry over 6,000 passengers and sail faster than many expect. Sometimes I dream of being a captain and having sea adventures. What is used to fly without fuel at high altitude? Helicopter, glider, paraglider, car. Helicopter flies with an engine. It needs fuel, so it cannot rise without it. Glider flies without fuel. It glides through the air using wind and thermals, like a real aerial acrobat. Paraglider floats under clouds. A paraglider moves slower and hovers in the air like a giant paper kite. Car drives on roads. It doesn't fly at altitude and lacks fuel for flying. Correct answer, glider. Imagine if the glider could joke, "Hold on, the wind is lifting us to the clouds." I love flying a glider because it feels like pure flight without an engine, as if I become one with the air and clouds. Interestingly, gliders can glide tens of kilometers using only rising air currents. It's both a sport and an adventure. It's also funny to imagine the glider talking to the wind, "Thanks, friend, lift me higher." I imagine birds giving directions and clouds turning into a playground. In glider competitions, people can fly hundreds of kilometers without fuel, and record flights reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour. Imagine flying like a superhero. Which transport drives off-road and is often used on a farm? Bicycle, tractor, bus, train. Bicycle pedals forward. Good for the city, but it barely handles mud and fields. Tractor drives on fields. Powerful and slow, it can carry loads and work the land. Bus carries passengers. On rough terrain, a bus would get stuck, wheels can't handle it. Train moves on rails. Farms usually don't have rails, so a train isn't needed here. Correct answer, tractor. Imagine if the tractor could talk, "Ready to work, land, watch out." I love tractors for their strength and reliability. They help farmers carry harvests and work the fields, and sometimes they feel like giant robots on the farm. Interestingly, the largest tractors can pull tens of tons and handle any off-road terrain. It's also funny to imagine the tractor joking, "Watch me scatter the mud." I sometimes imagine tractors racing each other across the fields. Tractors come in different types, for fields, gardens, forests, and even city parks. They are real helpers for people. What helps lift heavy loads on construction sites? Crane, bicycle, airplane, bus. Crane lifts loads. It is tall and strong and can lift very heavy materials to any floor. Bicycle pedals forward. Good for short trips, but it cannot lift heavy loads. Airplane flies in the air. It carries people and cargo, but it doesn't help on construction sites. Bus carries passengers. A bus only drives on roads. It's not useful on a construction site. Correct answer, crane. Imagine if the crane could joke, "Watch me lift everything higher and higher." I love cranes because they help build tall buildings and carry heavy materials that humans could never lift alone. Interestingly, the largest construction cranes can lift hundreds of tons, like superheroes at a building site. It's also funny to imagine the crane talking to workers, "Hey, hold that material, I'm lifting." I sometimes imagine cranes competing with each other to see who can lift the load higher. Tower cranes can reach heights of over 100 meters. They are like giant robots building cities. Which transport moves on water underwater? Ship, submarine, airplane, car. Ship floats on water. It stays on the surface and cannot dive deep. Submarine moves underwater. It hides under the water and can explore the ocean depths. Airplane flies in the air. It cannot float, let alone dive. Car drives on roads. It would sink in water, so the depths are not for it. Correct answer, submarine. Imagine if the submarine could joke, "Shoo, I'm gliding like a sea spy." I love submarines because they let you travel underwater and explore the ocean like real explorers. Interestingly, submarines can dive hundreds of meters, hiding from the world above. It's also funny to imagine the submarine talking to fish, "Hi friends, I'm gliding quietly, no noise." Sometimes I imagine submarines racing with dolphins. Fun fact, modern submarines can stay underwater for weeks and even have special viewing ports to observe marine life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.